Well, good morning. Rainy Monday morning at that. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Grab the umbrella. You'll need it for sure. And do me a favor and leave just a little bit earlier than you normally would because there is a lot of ponding, a lot of flooding that has happened overnight. And we're going to check with Beckett here in just a second to see if the heavy rain is going to continue for the morning commute. And then the oppressively hot days that are ahead. And we're talking very dangerous conditions. Last night I was on the porch sweating in a matter of 10 seconds. I did jump in the pool for all of you that said, go get in your pool, Monica. I did. So air conditioning, pool, exercising early, doing your walks. Do not go out in the hottest part of the day. It's just dangerous. And that's when we start to talk about heat-related illnesses, heat-related deaths. We don't want to talking about those in the news. So again, trying to warn you, please check on the elderly, bring those dogs inside. If they absolutely positively have to be outside, make sure they have plenty of water. Just again, take care of yourself and take care of others. So if you're just tuning in, welcome aboard the Real Monica Adams Show. I'm your host, Monica Adams. We're going to check in with our Beckett Moore here in just a second. We're going to give you some news you can use. How many of you, of your 88,000 people that are watching my show this morning, had a chance to go to the Savannah Bananas game at Busch Stadium? Boy, St. Louis was lit up this past weekend like I haven't seen in a long time. Did you see some of the pictures and the videos all over social media? We'll talk about the Savannah Bananas in just a little bit. And then we have actually 3 days in a row where we'll be talking about authors. The one today is The Fly on the Wall. The one tomorrow, On Fire, and the new movie coming out, Soul on Fire. John O'Leary will be our guest on Tuesday, and Annie Yatch will be our guest on Wednesday. A huge week planned for you. And our Foodie Friday, by the way, is with Trattoria Marcella. So yes, buckle up. It's a phenomenal week for sure. Let's get to it. We have a segment that we call What the Weather?
Good evening from St. Louis, Missouri, and it is a beautiful one.
And it is brought to you, by the way, by GradeWorks LLC. Mike Vernacci, thank you so much for being a part of the show and for furthering the education of our wonderful aspiring meteorologist, Beckett Moore. They do a lot of work, as you can see here, excavating, but they also do roofing. And with all of the flooding that we're seeing, and even more today, you might need some grade work done. Please do me a favor and support those that support us and support our incredible aspiring meteorologists. You can go online right there, gradeworksmo.com. That's WRXMO.com. All right, let's bring them on. Beckett Moore, good morning to you. How's your Monday starting?
Good morning. It's good. How are you?
Good. I was just asking you, Beckett, because he's not in this immediate area. So it's not raining where you are?
Very lightly at the time. Not really too much right now.
Okay, that is not the case where we are. I mean, I came in this morning and definitely left about 15 to 20 minutes early. We're talking about major flooding on the roadways, ponding for sure. So it's a little bit dangerous. Are we expecting a little bit more of that today?
Yes, around 2 to 3 inches have fallen across the area, and we could see maybe 1 to 2 more inches as the rain exits, but most of the flooding has probably already occurred.
Okay, so we're talking about that. I mean, really, it really has been extreme weather all across the United States, which will tell you about a particular band that canceled because of the way the weather has been. So the ponding and the flooding we're seeing, then the oppressively hot weather, which again can be very dangerous. So we're going to let you do the forecast, Beckett, but also Beckett has some warning aspects with regards to just how hot it is. So Beckett, I'll let you take it away.
Yes, absolutely. So first, let's look at the 7-day forecast. We do have an extreme heat warning that goes into effect actually yesterday and continues through Thursday. So for your Monday today, high of 93, 40% chance of rain this morning. If we, of course, are seeing that as we speak. As we head into tomorrow for your Tuesday, high in the mid 90s, mostly sunny skies. Tomorrow's and Wednesday and Thursday, that's when we're really going to start feeling this heat. Wednesday getting in towards 100, Thursday as well. We do cool down a bit, though, towards Friday and then into the weekend, but we could see that extreme heat warning extended as well into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So overall, like Monica said, oppressive heat is on the way.
A wonderful slide that you have for us about protecting ourselves from the heat and the sun, if you want to run through that for us.
Yes, so looking at that slide, make sure you drink plenty of water and avoid alcohol beverages with electrolytes. Can also help protect against heat stress. Apply sunscreen, wear lightweight, light-colored clothing, and take regular breaks. And also check on your pets and the elderly.
So imperative, and I know in the news we always say these things, and we hope, at least if we can affect one person, that we've done our job, but we're hoping everybody listens to that. Sometimes people just kind of brush it off, but we're talking about some serious days ahead. So by the time we see you on Friday, we'll just see if we are talking about any serious issues in the news for sure. How many days until you start back to school?
I think I have maybe a little less than a month left.
All right, so I know you're going to Montana soon, right?
Yes, in start of August.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be so much fun. All right, my friend. Well, thank you so much for everything that you do. Tell everybody again where they can follow you.
Of course, on YouTube and Twitter, more weather.
There you go, folks. Back at more. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful week, and we'll see you again on Friday.
See ya.
All right, Beckett. Thank you. That's aspiring meteorologist Beckett Moore. So, yes, we are talking about severe weather, and that really does come into play in one of our stories coming up in entertainment news in just a bit. We're going to start off, though, this morning with a commercial pilot that had to make a very aggressive maneuver to avoid a mid-air collision with Air Force B-52 bomber. Not sure if you saw this one out of North Dakota. According to Aviation A to Z, the close call happened aboard a SkyWest Flight 3788 operating as a Delta connection, and that was going to the airport again in North Dakota. The flight came dangerously close to a B-52 from the Air Force Base during that flight. The pilot's quick action prevented a possible collision. Passengers later thanked him for explaining what happened once the plane did in fact land safely. One woman who was seated in the front of the plane described the atmosphere on board as weirdly calm, even as the jet made sharp, unexpected turns. Despite the tension, they're praising the pilot for being very transparent. The pilot apologized to passengers once on the ground, and now SkyWest says they are investigating the incident. Well, we talk right now during the summer months of a lot of you heading down to the Lake of the Ozarks. And this is an unfortunate story that I have to tell you. A man from Florissant drowned at the Lake of the Ozarks over the weekend. The information that we have this morning from the Missouri State Highway Patrol, the 50-year-old man was in a kayak. It overturned after 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. The man never resurfaced. His body was recovered. No information released at this time. But again, the man is from Florissant, and this happened Saturday morning. According to state police. As we get any more information on this, we will, of course, pass that along to you. We continue to follow this story. How many of you have gone to Mom's Deli over the years? We told you that they're going to a new location, but now KMOV had been checking in on them to see what's going to go to the location where Mom's Deli used to sit. So we have two things for you with regards to this. Some new life. The former location of Mom's Deli on Jameson, now owned by Big Lou Properties. And according to the building permit, an application was filed to use the building as a restaurant with outdoor seating and carryout. It's not clear, though, who's going to move in. As the former occupant, Mom's Deli has a new home on Hampton in the space that was formerly Dado's Cafe. The work permits are in the window right now. Some construction happening. You will remember the owners of Mom's Deli had to leave their longtime spot and relocate because of a building dispute. Well, I know we've got Michelle away for the next couple of weeks in Cabo San Lucas. She pops in from time to time. When she watches this on replay, she'll enjoy this story. New Hampshire, where she is from, evidently that is the place to retire. Yep, America's best states to retire in 2025, and New Hampshire is taking the top spot. In fact, it's New Hampshire, then Maine, Wyoming, Vermont, and Idaho in the top five. The bottom five states, Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Nebraska. You know, of course, I had to look for ourselves. Illinois, 24th, Missouri coming in at 32nd. So why New Hampshire? Well, they say neighborhood safety first, healthcare fifth, local taxes coming in sixth, people of similar age seventh, miscellaneous eighth, and then arts and entertainment and recreation establishments 15th. So New Hampshire, if you're thinking of where you should go retire, it's the best state, ranking well in all those things that I just mentioned. Again, four of the top 10 best states for retirees, though: Maine, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Vermont, and then some of the western states, Idaho, Utah, and Wyoming. So, first of all, congratulations if you are retiring. And then, secondly, there's an opportunity for you of where you may think you want to go. So, some of the golden states have slipped just a little bit. Okay, I told you that the weather is playing a part in our entertainment news, and it has to do with the Steve Miller Band. So we talk about oppressive heat, we talk about flooding, all of these things coming into play as he says he needs to protect his band. The tour was set to kick off in August and run through early November with nearly 36 stops across the United States, including cities in New York and Tennessee, Florida, and California. However, the decision has come, and they say they are canceling the classic rocker, canceling the tour because of the severe weather. Again, the heat, the unpredictable flooding, posing a danger to his fans. I mean, I applaud him for wanting to take care of everybody, but I know people that, want to go and see their favorite bands. They, of course, get frustrated and they post all over social media and they yell at them, and it is what it is. And then the story will move on and it'll be something else that we'll grab onto, right? If you are a fan of soap operas, you might recognize this man from General Hospital. Star Tristan Rogers diagnosed with cancer. The actor's representative shared the news in a press release last week. They are revealing, again, Tristan Rogers remains hopeful, working closely with his medical team on a treatment plan. They say it's a challenging time for Tristan and his family as they face emotional and physical burdens. No word on what cancer he's been diagnosed with. According to a press release, future updates will be shared if deemed appropriate by Tristan and his family. He portrayed Robert Scorpio on General Hospital and the spinoff series General Hospital Night Shift. His last on-screen appearance, by the way, was last year, according to People magazine. Okay, I asked at the beginning, how many of you had a chance to go to Busch Stadium? 88,000 people. I mean, this was amazing. A sea of yellow. Long before they went into Busch Stadium. We're talking about the Savannah Bananas. I hope you follow them. If you haven't, you need to, because if you ever want to think a brand and how do you make a brand grow, boy, they've done it. And we've got to do a study on them because they're bringing more people to Busch Stadium than the St. Louis Cardinals are. It was also very cool to see some of our former St. Louis Cardinals. We're talking about, yes, Lance Lynn, Jason Isringhausen, Adam Wainwright. How cool was it to see all of them? And then the acrobatics on the field, the umpire. I'm trying to get the dancing umpire on the show, by the way. So fun. So let me know if you had a chance to go. Tell me what you thought of the electric atmosphere. And I mentioned that they're bringing in more people than our own St. Louis Cardinals are, so maybe they need to take a cue from them. The Cardinals, by the way, were in action, not here at Busch Stadium, but on the road. They played against the Arizona Diamondbacks and unfortunately losing 5-3. It's the Cardinals and Rockies today. Game time is at 7:40. And then let's talk about St. Louis City SC. I had so much great hope after they came off of that win, and unfortunately now they've lost. But again, they seem to have a different electric energy. Have you been to a game? I just love the stadium. It's just one of the most beautiful stadiums. So they're coming off that loss to FC Dallas 3-0 on Saturday. Their next game will be this coming Saturday, St. Louis at Minnesota, and the kickoff will be at 7:30. And we like to give you a rundown of some things going on in our National Day of Calendar. Just a handful for you today. National Get Out of the Doghouse Day. Oh, were you in the doghouse? Why are you in the doghouse? National Be Someone today. We believe in you. Got to believe in yourself, right? It is also National Junk Food Day. Okay, as someone personal training, I'm not a fan of that. And National, I don't even know about this one. What is Lamington? Lamington? All right, you're seeing it there on the screen. I have never seen that before, but it looks like it's some kind of a dessert. National Lamington Day. There you go. And now you are all up to date in things that we think are water cooler talks. Nothing negative whatsoever. I will never wake you up to the negativity of the news ever again. We stepped away from the news to give you what I think you might enjoy talking about. You notice I did not talk about what happened with the guy at the Coldplay concert that everybody's talking about. In fact, I was at church yesterday and it was fun to see the people that don't understand. And they were like, go ahead and tell the people next to you. And so because everybody and their brother has either seen a meme on it or the videos on it, I didn't put it in today. It's just because it's time to move on beyond it. As I thought was very poignant in the pastor, he said, okay, we all kind of laugh a little bit, but in the end, there's nothing good that's ever going to come out of that. We've got families that are we have a company that is trying to figure out what the heck they're going to do. So I think we need to just be done with it and move on to the next thing that's going to go viral, right? Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Again, let me say good morning to our audience. Julie, good morning to you. Linda said no rain here. Well, good. I'm glad you got your walk in early. Good morning to Julie Fabian, as well as Julie Purcell. Jenny, Mary Mayer, good morning to you. As you sign on, feel free to say hi. Hi, Kathy and Selmo. Let's see. Good morning. I don't know that one. Something 44. Kathleen, good morning to you. Rose, my younger dog was shaking from the thunder. Yeah, my dog's in the closet. And she said, woke her up, had to hold her and tell her the angels are bowling. Rose, I like that one. All right, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the fly on the wall. Now, there's a lot of times that has a negative connotation, right? Well, my guest is a positive spin on this. She is a longtime educator, community volunteer, big supporter of St. Louis. She's the author. We also have the illustrator in with us, and we're going to talk about the fly on the wall when we return. And welcome back again to The Real Monica Adams. I'm your host, Monica Adams, and we're going to have 3 days of authors coming into our show. Today, I'm going to tell you this. If you're a teacher, if you're a parent, you're a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, a godmother like myself, whoever has an impact and an influence on our younger generation, I want you to pay attention today. And I know you all love books. Everyone loves to read, and we encourage you to read 10 pages a day. Then it really gets you into the habit of reading. Well, we know the adage, the fly on the wall, but a lot of you are like, oh, that's a negative connotation. Monica doesn't talk about negativity. Nope. My guest, Jan Barron, said I've got a positive spin on the fly on the wall. And so she is the author of The Fly on the Wall, but she's also brought her illustrator in. So I had an opportunity to see a recent interview that the two of you did on my old station that I worked at. And I saw these beautiful illustrations from Mr. Burkhardt. They are absolutely gorgeous. So first of all, both of you, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
I'm thrilled to have you. And now you are a friend of our wonderful Faith Berger, who did this gorgeous painting. Isn't it amazing?
It's wonderful. Yes.
What do you think of that,
Oh, I
Mr.
love
Illustrator?
it. Fantastic.
Isn't it? It's gorgeous.
Yes,
It is.
So I want to thank Faith again for introducing us to you. I'm going to start with this because one of the things that I typed into the description today, Jan, was that you're never too old to fulfill your dreams and to follow your passions. So you are how young?
90.
I feel like how I say that. 90. Come on. That's amazing. So you were a longtime teacher?
Yes.
When what districts?
Well, Parkway and New City and University City did a lot of substituting as well. But my passion has been early childhood.
Oh, yeah.
So I was a director of an early childhood center in Creve Coeur, and it was the best thing I probably ever did.
I have to tell you what, there are so many of us that just have to continue to thank all of you teachers out there because you really do pave the path for where we're going in life. We all have our teachers that we remember that had this impact on us. And I'm sure that many kids have said, oh, yes, it's Miss Jan.
Well, actually, they called me Mora Jan.
Mora?
Because Mora in Hebrew means teacher.
Oh, I love that.
So I was Mora Jan, and I actually had one of my nephews in my class one time, and he used to call me Mora Aunt Jan. But yes, it was a wonderful experience. But I also moved on from there and did a lot of administration work too. And the teaching helps in doing other things. Education helps a lot.
Oh,
the background is wonderful.
Absolutely. It's constant in our lives.
It is.
And when we always say we should always be learning. Every day should be an education.
Exactly.
If you ever think that you've learned it all, good luck with that one. Right? Good luck with that. So I want to know, how did the two of you connect?
Well, I'll start, but Paul will fill in.
Right.
Paul and I really didn't know each other at all. But I work at the Jewish Community Center in the adult day stand there. And one of our participants' father and I were talking, and I told him that I had written this book, but I needed an illustrator. And he says, a friend of mine is an illustrator. And I said, really? And he gave me Paul's name. So I called Paul and boom.
Hey,
Ba-boom.
right. It happened.
So Paul,
Oh, well,
tell your story.
all right. Tom, he's always been a supporter of my art, which is great. But the art I do isn't anything like this. It's more.
Oh, it's like
that.
Faith's?
Yes,
Oh,
it is.
okay.
Well, similar. But
Is it more
anyway,
abstract?
Right.
Okay.
Anyway, but my wife had a friend, and her friend had a dog named Cooper, and she asked me if I could do some. She was going to write just for her grandchildren a little story, and she wanted me to illustrate it. And I said, I'm never, that's not my line. I don't do that. And then I said, but I'll give it a shot. And then I was working on it, and I just quit. I said, I can't do this. But then a little while later, I said to myself, you call yourself an artist and you can't even do a kid's book? So then I did like 3 or 4 of this dog, Cooper, in Alaska and all that stuff. And she really liked it, but then she grew ill. And then so that kind of kiboshed it. But Tom saw a couple of those that I did. That's the only way I'm sure that he made the connection when you mentioned about that.
I bet he did.
If it wouldn't have been that.
Thank goodness for Tom.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Well,
Tom.
it is always the connections that are supposed to be,
Oh, I know, it's amazing.
paved. It really, it's beautiful. Well, and so here's the thing. The Fly on the Wall is the book we're talking about. The book is available everywhere. If you want to get it at a bookstore, you want to get it online, Amazon, etc. Get it, first of all. You're going to love the teaching in it. So before we get into the book itself, Jan, this, from what I understand, was in your mind for a long time.
That's exactly right. I've always loved the expression fly on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
But I always didn't think of it as the negative part. I always thought of, that fly is looking over something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we all wanted to be a fly on the wall one time or another.
Sure.
And so I thought about it for years and then finally put it into a little poetry and got it written. And then I decided, well, okay, we're this far along. Let's move on and get an illustrator. And my daughter is an artist.
Okay.
She won't admit to that, but she's very good. But she was too busy.
I was going to say, how come she didn't do something for you?
I wanted a mother-daughter kind of thing, but instead I have a friend and a friend kind of thing.
Yes.
So, but Paul was not as easy to convince as I thought.
Right.
Why, Paul?
Oh yeah, I was ready. When the first day I met her, I was ready to just quit.
Why?
Because, well, she was telling me what she wanted and all this, and I thought, I can't do this, because it's not my style of art. But then she said, and it just clicked in my head. She goes, I just want the book to be whimsical. And then that is up my alley.
And so you hear that
and then,
word.
you know what? At that point, I thought, whenever I do my art, I love it because I just do whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it'd be good for me to take direction. And she was very specific on every page.
I was a little bossy about it.
She wanted just the kids' room, and then she wanted, a little girl holding a teddy bear.
Mm-hmm.
So that made it easier for me, because, okay, I got to make a little girl holding a teddy bear.
The nice part about working with Paul is that he has no ego. And when I would say, I like this or I don't like this, and could you change this? Oh, sure. He'd say, oh, sure, I could do that.
That right there. By the way, let me reintroduce my guest, Paul Burkhardt, Jan Barron. This is a teaching moment right here. Since she was a teacher, tell me how far this goes when you're working with someone and they don't feel like, oh, you're berating me or my work is not good enough. Instead, I'm just giving direction from my passion and my vision. And when you find someone that's able to go, oh, okay, and not take it and put their head down, oh my gosh, I failed her. That's who you need to look for in life on so many levels.
You're so right. And attitude is everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, and making the relationship that we have established was very important.
Mhm.
So we made a wonderful relationship, and I remember one particular time I said to Paul, you know, the kids in the story, it's a family of 3 children, a mother and a father, and the fly, and and so I said, Paul, you have different color hair on all these kids, and it's the same kids. Oh, he says,
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
you've got to change it
Right.
so that they all look like the same child on every page. And, you know, he said, okay.
Well, she was so diplomatic, though. That really helped, too. You know what I mean? Like, if you said, oh, this is, you know, you need to change, that would have been different.
But it
It's
makes
just
sense.
perfect.
You were looking for uniformity. This
Exactly,
has to
exactly.
flow.
Exactly.
Again, that is high standards without being bossy. Having confidence, having high standards is a good thing in life. I think a lot of people look at it as, oh, again, am I less than or am I doing? No, it is a beautiful, harmonious relationship that's working together. You obviously understanding he has incredible talents, but you're the one with the vision. You're the one that started this whole idea, and you found this person that you trusted. And then it is, can we carry it out this way? I mean, I'm going through it right now, Jan. I have someone that's putting this really beautiful sizzle reel together for me of my speaking engagements. And he is a 21-year-old college kid. I think he's 21. He's a college kid. Anyway, he is brilliant, so talented, but I've had to go back and forth going, I don't see this here. I don't see, okay, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yep. Yes, Miss Monica, whatever. And I was like, oh, he's so perfect to work with. That's what you're needing in life.
Exactly. And, you know, I think we all have visions in our head of what we want something to look like. And I did have a vision in my head, and I wanted it not only whimsical, I wanted it colorful.
Yes.
Because it is a children's book. However, when people say to me, well, what age do you recommend this for? I say anywhere from birth to death.
I like
Because
that.
really and truly, it does have this underlying current of a teaching effect, and perhaps it's spiritual, perhaps it's parental, it could be grandparents, it could be great grandparents.
Sure.
And so I had this vision of it being a teaching thing too. In fact, included in the book are questions that we can use.
Your questions are amazing. I do want to have that a part of today's show, because what I think is awesome about books is, yes, you read them, but then we all take things different ways. You know, what was the message that you had? What was the message that Paul had? What is the message that I came out and walked away with? You have us, kind of like my journaling, you have us asking questions and getting introspective.
Yes, and I thought that was very important, because as maybe you're reading it to a very young child and they get so much from it, but not as much as they're going to get when they get older. So as they get older, these questions could be started and as a learning process, and also as a thinking process. Sometimes we don't think as much as we should, and you know, we just go on to the next thing.
Jan, we think, we overthink, we listen, we don't listen.
Exactly.
I'm sure you experience all that.
Even at 90.
From birth to death, Jan. All right. Again, if you're just tuning in, Jan Barron is my guest, along with Paul Burkhardt, the author and the illustrator, The Fly on the Wall. So what is it all about? If you will, can you grace us with reading some pages from it?
I'd love to.
Okay, we're going to do that. Again, if you're looking for a book for really anyone, but if you've got children in your life, they're going to love this one. And teachers, I'd love for you to think about bringing this into schools. So it's The Fly on the Wall, available everywhere. We'll have more with Jan and Paul when we return. Welcome to the mobile Monica version of the Real Monica Adams Show at my favorite restaurant. There's something about a coffee house that's just very warm and welcoming.
Gives you that sense of community.
What are you most proud of since you've opened it?
I cry easily. I'm thankful for everybody here.
You opened the door during the middle of the pandemic. You got the best Italian restaurant in the United States. here in St. Louis. You put us on the map. Does it scare you? Go through fear?
Terrifying.
So how do you get past the fear?
We find something to laugh about.
Welcome back again. Thanks for tuning in to the Real Monica Adams Show. If you're new to the show, welcome aboard. I love the fact that, yes, I have my following throughout St. Louis, Missouri and Illinois, and now we're growing and growing and growing. Somebody just said good morning from Indy. So hi in Indianapolis, watching over on Instagram. I love that. Yeah, feel free, by the way, to drop in any comments or any questions that you have. If you have questions about the book or you want to drop in anything about having passion and fulfilling your dreams, we mentioned that Jan Barron is a young 90-year-old, and she decided to release this book. When did the book come out, by the way?
April.
In April. Okay. And so what kind of feedback have you so far from people who have actually had a chance to have it in their hands and read it, hopefully multiple times?
Well, you never know what the reaction is going to be when you do something. And I have been amazed at the positive feedback that we've been getting, both Paul and I, because people have, well, first of all, it's nice to have a group of friends who support you and family that support
Sure.
you. And of course, they all bought the book. But then to reach out into the community is a whole different story.
Yes, we want to go beyond our friends and family.
Exactly. And and both of us have had very positive responses from the book.
Yeah, I had a woman that stranger, and she said the book was better than Goodnight Moon, which I had never heard of before.
Oh,
So I
really?
had to Google it, and then I saw that it was published in 1947 and sold 58 million copies.
Yeah, it's huge.
And I thought, wow, if it's better than Goodnight Moon. I
Okay,
guess
that's
good.
huge. That is a ringing endorsement, Paul.
Yeah, I guess so. I
Again,
didn't know. I had never heard of it.
Paul Burkhardt, the illustrator of The Fly on the Wall, Jan Barron, again, the author of The Fly on the Wall. So I went into the break. We're going to have you read some, but for those, and I don't want to give the whole book away because we want you to get it, but you mentioned a little bit, we have people that sign in every second though. So the message of the book that you're hoping that everyone walks away with is what?
The message of the book is that something, someone, somewhere is, we hope, is making a difference in our lives, is watching over us, is making us better people. So that, as I said, it could be spiritual, but it doesn't necessarily have to be spiritual. It could be the parent or the grandparent. And I think it's important to know, it's very comforting to know that we're not alone, that we have support. And this fly kind of represents that support.
I love that you provided it to me because before I have an author on, I usually like to read the book. I like to ask questions that I don't see in other interviews. For me, reading through it, my message in my head that I took away was, yes, that fly, although a lot of you have a negative connotation of the fly on the wall, could be a positive because it's seeing something and maybe it can help blend things together that other people are not seeing, that they had a chance to see it. Like, oh, no, you're taking that wrong. Let me tell you, I watched this scenario and I watched that scenario, and here's how I help you. Here's an experience that I can teach you. Those are all, and you really did make me switch to thinking, yes, it's not peering into something and, oh, I see you.
Exactly.
Which is what a lot of people think the fly on the wall is.
That's right. I made a mock-up of the book and asked one of my rabbis if he would look at it and see what he thought. So I treated him to coffee. That always helps.
It always helps.
And he came, and I showed him the mock-up of the book, and he went through it, and he says, "I get it." That was his words. He says, "I get it." I said, "Well, that's exactly what I wanted to hear from you. Would you write the foreword to it?" And of course he did. And the foreword to me means so much because it really tells what's this all about.
Absolutely.
And so as far as I'm concerned, the foreword and the art sells the book.
And Maxine Clark has a comment in here also.
Maxine is a wonderful person and a delightful friend. And I asked her if she would write a little something to put on the back of the book, because that's always intriguing to have something written. And of course she said she would. So
Paul, yeah, I know you didn't know Goodnight Moon, but do you know who Maxine Clark is?
I've heard of her. I don't know who she is.
All of you, I hope you know who Maxine Clark is. Do you know
Okay.
anything about Build-A-Bear and that
Oh, I've heard
empire?
of Build-A-Bear. Yeah.
It is a big deal, by the way,
Okay.
It is a big deal.
that she's in
And
there.
Velmar Divine
Yeah.
as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have her read here in just a second. But Paul, from
Yes.
the fly on the wall mentality, when you went into this and knew that you were going to do the illustrations for it,
Right.
and then you end up finding out what this story is all about, what was the transfer in your mind of, oh, well, here's what I thought the fly on the wall was, and now what do you walk away with in life of what you
Right.
are trying
My
to put out?
main thing, I don't even know if I've told Jan this. It's to give the child a sense that someone cares about what they're doing, even if it's just normal things like playing the violin or something, or hugging the bear, or that someone cares about them and what they're doing. That's what I took from it.
Lovely.
See?
I love that,
So
Paul.
yeah, I know. That might be different than what other people get, but that's what I get. That's why I think it's a perfect bedtime book, because it's two things. You give before they go to sleep, you give them a sense of security and also a sense of accomplishment, because I guarantee you, the kid just wants to find the fly in the wall
Yes,
on every page.
in every page.
Yeah, and
well,
that
I'm
gives
a
them
big kid, evidently, Paul, because that's what I did.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That's what we look
It's
for,
like,
by
where's
the way.
Waldo?
Well, that's
Yeah.
exactly was the intent.
Right.
Yeah.
I kept going, oh, there it is. Where is it in this one? Oh,
Right.
there it is.
That's-
Yeah,
Right?
so you can read the story to the same kid 1,000 times, and they're still going to like it because they get to find the fly.
Yes.
And the other thing is, there's so much repetition in the story, in the book. It's very simple, as you know. It's a very simple story, but there's a lot of repetition. So the children, I've read it to children now, and I have them help me read it. So at the last line is, "If I were really a fly on the wall," and they help me read it. So they get onto the mantra of
Right.
helping me read it.
From a reading standpoint, and I know we said it's really for someone from birth to death, but as far as comprehending and getting the message, what age would you think that would be?
Really comprehending the whole. I think it's going to be a little older than just infancy and young child.
Like-
I would think maybe 8, 9, or 10.
Oh, okay. I was thinking
because
maybe 6. Yeah, but I think
maybe
it's
it
interesting.
depends upon the child.
Yes, it depends on the child. And
Yeah.
again, this goes back to education. And again, reading, read to them. They are absorbing those little sponges. They are constantly
Yes,
paying
yeah.
attention. And yes, you might go back and ask somebody what happened at 3, 4, 5, and it's hard for them to remember a lot of things. But I don't know, 6, 7, I think they're going to start grasping it. I can't wait to get all of you getting this book and then telling Jan and Paul what it meant to you and what your kids thought. Again, it's fun to say, well, what did you get from that, honey? And then, oh, they teach us. I love how the younger generation teaches.
Indeed, they do.
Right. So we do a generational talk segment that I love. And it really is your generation, my intern's generation. If we all just listen better, we get and we understand what the other generation is really hoping for our generation. It's not having this lack of respect between the generations.
Exactly.
But it's also talking. So for all of you that read the book to your kids or grandkids, etc., ask them, what do you think that meant? Then say, oh, here's what I thought. And then it blends together. We all got different messages. Okay, we're going to let you pick 2 of your favorite pages.
Okay.
When we come back, it's story time with Jan Barron. So don't go anywhere. Paul Burkhardt and Jan Barron are our guests, and we will be back right after this.
This lady got me in the best shape of my life. I literally didn't know that I could be in shape like that. But the amount that she pours into her clients, and especially whenever you get the one-on-one training, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it was really life-changing. I learned so much about proper form, about nutrition, about just being able to invest in myself. I hired Monica to be my personal trainer, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
We have a bunch of new sponsors that are coming onto the show. And if you didn't hear last week, we want to thank the wonderful Angie at Spas and More for being a part of our show. And I was sitting in the pool last night trying to find out where I wanted to put ours. And so I'm putting it out there, visualization, manifestation, even though Jim keeps going, honey, we don't need one. Yes, we do. I had one for many years, and I'm going to tell you the therapeutic side of a spa or a hot tub is just something that anyone who has any muscle issues, maybe you've been through trauma, maybe you've been through an accident or an injury, there's a whole other level of you not thinking that a hot tub is for luxury. It really does take your therapy to a whole new level. I saw that in the car accidents that I was in. I saw that in injuries as an athlete. If you make that a part of your day, it is life-changing. And so again, I always ask you to support those that support us, Spas and More. And I love the fact they are proudly made in the USA, world's largest hot tub and swim spa manufacturer. So yeah, they've teamed up with Michael Phelps. So if it's a swim spa, it's a sauna, it's a cold plunge, it's a hot tub, they have all of those. And we're working really hand in hand with Spas and More and Just Pools. So I love the fact that when it comes to small business, lifting up small business, that's exactly what Angie and Madonna are doing. So Spas and More for your spas, your saunas, your cold plunges, and then remember Just Pools when it comes to the pool. And we'll talk a little bit more about Just Pools in just a bit. Welcome back to the Real Monica Adams Show. We've been visiting with Jan Barron and Paul Burkhardt, the author and the illustrator. We said we're going to have story time. So Jan, I'm going to have you pick a couple of your favorite pages from the book. It's called The Fly on the Wall. Let's all listen.
I'm going to start in the middle, actually, because I love this part of it. It says, I may be small in size, that's true, yet I'm big enough to see all you do. And while looking down, I see so much, a friendly smile or a loving touch. Yes, I can really see it all if I were really a fly on the wall. And then I love the one about the father coming home.
Oh, yes, that's probably my favorite.
Yes. I watch as your dad comes home to you. I wish I could get a big hug too, but no hug for me. I'm too small if I were really a fly on the wall.
So this is the page, by the way. It's funny that you picked this one where I searched and I went, where's the fly? Where's the fly? Oh, there it is down there.
Here it is down
there
here.
It is down there next to the
and
frog,
the
by the way.
on every page. And the children love to find the fly. And they fight over it.
I found it. No, I found it.
And Paul, in his own inimitable way, put a parrot on every page too.
Oh, yeah, I didn't see that.
Yeah, there's a parrot on every page.
Right.
But I happen to love this particular painting of his, and these are paintings, by the way, because it's just so beautifully and whimsically done with the children, and I love the cherry tree in the back. I guess that's a cherry tree.
Is that a cherry tree, Paul?
Yes, it is.
He's like, sure.
Yeah, like
in bloom.
Cherry tree in Japan. But anyway, my daughter, who always has to be critical of something, she said, I made the fly too easy to find.
No, you didn't. Not on that page.
I know. I said, what do you want me to put in a drawer or something?
Jan, let me see for a second.
So too easy.
In a lot of them, yes. And then also there's a little heart around the fly. I mean, again, I think there's so many interesting pieces to this, but on that particular page there that you saw with the father, that's the one.
Oh, that was a tough one for you?
Yeah. Well, not tough, but it was not immediate where I was, oh, there it is. Right. And then even on this page, you got to look a little bit deeper for it. Right. So here you go. I don't want to give it all away, but I do think that that's exactly what will happen is that immediately you're either really, really listening or you're looking for the fly first and then you're listening. This one also actually was not immediate.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in here. That's all I'm going to say.
Thanks for my defense.
You did a good job. Yes. Paul Burkhardt, the illustrator, Jan Barron, the author. Jan, we mentioned earlier though, that you have discussion questions and I think these are really powerful. So we're going to run through some of these. And as you get the book, you can say, hey, this is the thing that we all talked about afterwards. And this was the message of us. But why do you think the fly is on, now how do you pronounce it? Is it Bubba? Bubby. Why do you think the fly is on Bubby's wall at her house too? Explain what Bubby is.
Bubby is like is grandmother, is the Hebrew, the Yiddish word for grandmother. My grandchildren call me Bubby.
Okay.
And it's like Yaya, which is Greek
Yes, in
for
Greek.
yeah. So it's
And Oma in German.
exactly. So so the Bubby in the book is reading the Fly on the Wall to the kids, and the fly says, yes, the fly may be on your wall, but it's also on Bubby's wall too.
Yes. And why do you think that is, though, folks? And feel free to drop any comments in now or when you watch later, if you do a little hashtag replay. I think it is to help out grandma, to say, here's what the kids are doing over here. Oh, okay, I already know. It's kind of like, think about this. You know, as we lead into Christmas and it's the elf on the shelf, to me, it's the same kind of a connotation there. The elf is watching and helping with experiences and helping the kids probably behave a little bit better. So if the fly was always watching us, would we change the way we live? That's how far I went with your story.
Oh, you went very far, and I'm delighted that you did.
Me too.
I was a good little kid, Jen.
You are terrific.
So I love that. I love to always learn. So I know Oma from growing up and taking German. And then my friend, she is Greek. And so she's like, it's yeah. But Bubby, I never knew that one.
Bubby.
And then you also talk about a mensch.
Yes. I also have a glossary in the back of the book that explains what Bubby and mensch are, so that it may be new expressions to people. But mensch is a person who is just the ultimate person, good, kind, thoughtful, considerate. That's a mensch.
I love the fact that she has the word kind, since our entire show is about being kinder. So now we can use that. Why is there a fly on the wall? It's the last question she asked. She has several in here. Have you ever wanted to be like the fly on the wall? Who or what do you think is the fly on the wall? What does it mean to you to be a fly on the wall? This is, again, parents, teachers, grandparents, great-grandparents, as I mentioned, godparents, all who love reading to children. Is there anything that I like this one. Is there anything that you wouldn't want the fly on the wall to see? I think there's a lot of that.
I think that's important too, because there are things that we obviously want just to keep to ourselves. Yes. Not too much.
No, but I say that sometimes, of not just flies on the wall, but I look at our dog sometimes and go, oh, if you could only talk. The things you all see, right? So before we wrap up and we're going to get into our devotional, Paul and Jan, I'll ask you this. From working together, what did you most enjoy and what were the greatest obstacles?
Paul, you start.
Oh, we had one glitch. And I was about we were about halfway through with the book, only I didn't know it at the time. And I go to Destin every year with the grandkids and all that stuff. And everybody wanted to go, and we were in one of those malls, and everybody wanted to go into Barnes and Noble. So I was like halfway through the book. So I made the big mistake of going into the children's section, and I looked at the fantastic illustrations, and I was thinking of the book I'm doing for Jan. And then I dug a little further, and I found out almost all of those were done with artificial intelligence.
Oh,
and, I can't compete against that. So I told her, I begged her. I said, Jan, just get artificial intelligence to do this.
He almost quit.
I know.
Really? He almost quit the job.
She said, if we were on the phone, she said if she would have been with me, she would have shook me.
I said, I don't want
Amen.
AI.
Amen.
I don't want that. I want you. I want it to be a person. I want it to be original, your originality.
I applaud you for that.
Well,
thanks.
And I'm not sure about AI anyway.
I see the positives in it. I see some questionable things in it, but I do see exactly, and I always got chilled. I always have a chill in every interview. I love the fact that she didn't want it to go that way, Paul, because otherwise it's just going to wipe out everything that we've known. Yes, there are advancements always in technology, but it is a little scary of what the heck's going to happen to jobs and to, I don't know, anything.
It's already happening.
I know, right.
But I'm at a point where we're thinking, literally, what will be left?
I know.
That's the scary part.
The personal touch is so important.
Yes, absolutely. So that was an obstacle. What was? Is there any fun things that you can tell us from the project?
It's all been fun.
Good.
I mean,
working with Paul is not only a joy; it's a hoot. it's a kick. I just enjoy him. He's so thoughtful. and kind.
I love that.
Yes,
I
very
can feel
kind.
that.
Yes.
But you
Thank
both
you.
have very good energy.
Thank you.
So what were your proudest moments before it finally came to fruition?
The proudest
Oh,
moments.
I think just getting it completed and getting it ready
I couldn't really believe once it was actually published that we did it. It was just a wonderful thing. And our publisher, Davis Creative Publishing, was just wonderful to work with.
And the preface, when I first read that, I go,
Yeah, the certainly.
that's
And you know,
great.
I always like to take that expression, it takes a village, because it really does.
Mhm.
I mean, the book is ours, but it also belongs to a lot of other people who helped,
Sure.
including my family
Mhm.
and my loved ones. And it was a labor of love, truly. And even my dog Lily got into it.
I saw that. Hi, Lily. So she dedicated it to her grandchildren, her great-grandchildren, without whom I would not have had the adventures, the fun, or the experiences of being a child once again. And that was the last part I wanted to leave it with. The fly on the wall, it brings us back to a simpler time. It makes us slow down. It makes us remember when we were children. And that's why, although you may look at this and go, oh, that's a children's book, why do you think adult coloring books came out? Why do you think those are so popular? Why do you think there's adult day camps now? Because we do need to slow down and remember when.
We sure do.
And you've done that for us.
Well, thank you.
No, thank you. Again, it's called The Fly on the Wall, folks. You can get this online. You can. Do you have any local bookstores that you would like for us to support?
They're available at any store that sells books. So
Okay.
Barnes and Noble, we have some book signings coming up at Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
The one in at the West County is coming up this coming Friday.
Fantastic.
And we have another one at Barnes and Noble in Ladue on the I believe it's the 13th of August. It's Saturday. They're all on Saturdays, and
Yeah.
then
That wasn't, you said Friday. It was Saturday.
they're all Saturdays.
And the Hearth and Soul, too. That's
Oh,
big
wonderful.
one.
Oh, and
Yeah,
and then
on
we
the
have
23rd.
another Chesterfield book, Barnes and Noble is doing it on the 30th of August.
I love that. So
So-
if someone wants to follow along and find out where you're going to be, is there a website or a social media
We
page?
don't have a website.
You need one,
Yeah, I
Jan.
know, we do.
Tell AI to put it together for you.
Well, I have.
They can do it in 60 seconds.
I have a
really.
nephew who is in the
seconds.
business, so maybe he'll do that for us.
Yeah, no. So use the nephew, not AI. So Barnes and Noble, Hearth and Soul, by the way, I have not had a chance to get those ladies on the show, but Faith, I know, and Diane Isbell and Audra Harold, all these wonderful fashionistas, they have been saying, Hearth and Soul, you've got to book Monica for a mobile Monica.
Yes.
I agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
Make it happen, Hearth and,
And
Soul.
we'll be
Make
there
it
on the
happen.
23rd of August.
Okay,
Yeah.
23rd.
So,
It's a
yes.
beautiful place, by the way. I have
It
been in
is.
there. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate it. Jan Barron, thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Paul Burkhardt. The Fly on the Wall. You will absolutely love this. And I know you're always looking for a new book for your kids. Make this the one, because it really is, although it's fun, I think it's really it's the thought-provoking aspect of the book. And it really is getting you talking. Like when we go to see a movie, to me, it's always go out and maybe get something to eat afterwards, or go and sit down and talk about what you thought the movie was all about, because it's fun to see different perspectives of, oh, I didn't get that out of it, but be open-minded to listen to other ones. Okay, so the two of you, we always at the end of the show pick a devotional, and we have the faith aspect that we bring in. So
Okay.
I'm going to let you choose as the author. These books are called 100 Days to Freedom. So we're freedom from overeating, fear and anxiety, shame, anger, or depression. Which one are you feeling that the world needs freedom from today?
What was the first one you said?
Overeating, and then fear and anxiety, shame, anger, depression.
Let's do shame.
Shame. Okay. 100 Days to Freedom from Shame. We'll wrap up with that, and then we'll tell you what's coming up for the rest of the week.
Discover your full potential with a personalized styling experience. Designing, customizing, and transforming the looks of men and women. Revamp your individual style and embrace what makes you, you. That's real confidence.
That is exactly what I was in last night. Not that exact pool, but the pool. It was so needed, and you heard Beckett's forecast. Hopefully, if not, be sure to go back, watch the entire show, and just be prepared for what is coming. We talked about the rain today. Some of you maybe didn't have it, or maybe it's still coming your way. We mainly, though, are worried about just how hot it's going to be. Temperature, 98. Heat indices, near 110, folks. So please, if you are going to get your exercise in, do it early in the morning. If you are going to walk the dogs, remember, they have a fur coat on in this heat. Do not leave them in the car. It is so dangerous. The children, make sure that you have them accounted for. Again, we hear about these horrible stories where a child's left in the car, someone's running in to go to the grocery store, they've got dogs in the car, etc. Don't do that. But come home, and maybe the dogs even want to jump in the pool as well. Just Pools, the pool and spa specialist. We love them. They're located in Arnold on the West Outer Road, 3987 West Outer Road. And the phone number, by the way, is 636-464-7110. So when it's time for you to pull the trigger on getting a pool yourself, or if you have one already, I had one of my clients run in the other day. She said she had a little algae in the pool like we did. And I said, nope, they are the experts. Go in, test your water, let them tell you what you need. And all it is a bottle of algae to get that crystal clear water back again. Just Pools. Thank you, Madonna. Support those again that support us. So welcome back. We are in the wrap-up of the show, 100 Days to Freedom, Jan picked from Shame. And a lot of times fear and anxiety is chosen. We're almost done with that particular book. I like the fact that others are being chosen now. So from Shame, it's called Step by Step. Mark out a straight path for your feet. Stay on the safe path. That's Proverbs 4, verse 26. So maybe you've heard the old joke. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Ha, very funny. Okay, such a silly joke, right? Actually, it has a serious relevance, though, to the Christian life. People could well ask, how do you live a faithful Christian life? In a permissive culture where Christians and unbelievers often live almost identical lifestyles, eating an elephant might seem like an easier task. But the answer is simple. You live a faithful Christian life one step at a time. Throughout the Bible are references to walking with God. Walking is a step-by-step proposition. In the verse for today, we're told that we need to mark out a straight path, not for our horses or our bicycles or automobiles, but for our feet. Again, it's the picture of a step-by-step process. Step by step, it's how we grow in our faith and get closer to God, but it's also how we wander from him. If you have sinned deeply and are now struggling with shame, you likely did not make a single disobedient decision, right? Rather, you took one step off the straight path, then another and another, till you found yourself in a place that you never imagined. Many people stray a little off the straight path and feel no sense of alarm. They think, I'm close to the path. I can still see the path. I can step back onto the path at any time. But what they fail to realize is that they will grow comfortable being one step off the path, and then two won't seem like a big deal. And when they adjust to being 2 steps off, 3 won't seem to matter. Mark out a straight path for your feet. Stay on it. Otherwise, it's only a matter of time before you'll have a new load of shame to deal with. John White said, parents have always known that one thing leads to another. Here's today's prayer. Father, help me to appreciate the wisdom of living a step-by-step life. Show me the straight path and do whatever it takes to steer me back onto it when I begin to stray. Good one, Jan. Good pick today. Okay, once again, Jan Barron and Paul Burkhardt, my guests. The name of the book, The Fly on the Wall. Are the two of you familiar with the incomparable John O'Leary?
No.
Are you?
No.
Oh, well, good. Then you have to watch tomorrow's show because a lot of you may just be getting introduced to him. Others know his story and his book, On Fire, burned 100% of his body when he was a little kid. And have you heard of him?
Uh-huh.
And the movie coming out in October called Soul on Fire.
I didn't relate to it, but yes, I heard.
He is a remarkable human being, and the way he has changed the world. I cannot wait for this movie to come out in October. So he's our guest, our return guest. He was on with us in our old studios a couple of years back. I can't wait to talk about all the St. Louisans that are going to be in the movie, where they shot in St. Louis, what he's most excited about to finally see this movie come to fruition in October. We'll get you in the theaters for that one. Get you back to the theaters, by the way. Annie Yatch is our guest coming up on Wednesday. We're going to talk about wellness coming up on Thursday. Wednesday, and then Trattoria Marsala is going to be our featured Foodie Friday guest. So we have a packed week, so buckle up and get ready for it all. Have a beautiful day. One thing that we say is to believe in yourself. Be a teacher, be an illustrator, whatever you want to be, dream big, believe in yourself, but before you're anything, be kind. God bless you all. Have a beautiful day.